Matchweek 1 predictions. The Barclays is back. Let there be rejoicing in the streets, dancing in the halls, and happiness to the nations. There are some changes with the TV deals, but the general format of a match week is the same. On the screen, you're going to see a predicted lineup and formation. The players in grey are alternative players who might start. Perhaps players who are an injury doubt might have a grey player below them, or they might be the grey player themselves. Um, Without further ado, let's get into it. We start with Sky Sports Friday football at 8 p.m. as Liverpool host Bournemouth at Anfield. The champion Reds start their title defence without Ryan Gravenberch, who is suspended after getting sent off on final day last season. Also, Conor Bradley and Joe Gomez are doubts with knocks, and neither made the squad for the Community Shield. The main question is whether Curtis Jones or Alexis McAllister will start. Bournemouth are without long-term absences Enes Unal and Lewis Cook, while the game also comes too soon for Justin Kluivert and Ryan Christie. Dango Ouattara and Luis Sinisterra are unlikely to feature, with strong rumours about to move away, while new signing Bafode Diakite will need to be eased in after missing pre-season. No Cook means a start is probably coming for Julian Araujo, but Adam Smith may play instead. And if Diakite doesn't start, it will be a rare feature for James Hill. With Ouattara as good as gone, David Brooks may have to move into the wing, giving James Vernier or Alex Scott a place in defensive midfield. The one that doesn't drop back will probably join Brooks and Antoine Semenyo in the front four. The lack of Cook, Christie, Kluivert and Ouattara makes an already difficult task near impossible for Bournemouth. We'll get our second chance to have our first chance to see New Look Liverpool, who had some mitigating factors in the Community Shield, but don't want excuses this time. If Diakite doesn't start, the defensive options for Bournemouth will be even more limited, and that will give the Reds new stars like Florian Wirtz plenty of opportunity to get up and running. Liverpool will limit Bournemouth's chances, and the Cherries are missing key attacking players. They're also missing a key midfield players and key defensive ones. I reckon Liverpool will stroll to a comfortable 3-0 win, and it might be the manner of the victory rather than its existence which I scrutinise. The TNT sports slot is still 12:30 on a Saturday, with Villa hosting Newcastle. For Aston Villa, Emiliano Martinez is suspended after a red card in the last game of last season, while Morgan Rogers, Andres Garcia, and Ross Barkley are back in training after pre-season injuries. For the Magpies, Joe Willock is ruled out, but Anthony Gordon should be okay. And Alexander Isak is still exiled following his attempts to get a transfer deal. Lewis Hall and Sven Botman are fit, but due to coming off injuries, may be rested, giving a chance to Kieran Trippier. This is a close match between two European quality sides. This is a good time for the scriptwriters as Jacob Ramsey is about to switch claret for black and white, but that will probably not affect the 90 minutes in Birmingham. Martinez is a big loss for Villa, and Marco Bizzo will step in for his debut, while they hope Rodgers is past fit. At home, I do wonder if they can pile on the misery to an incomplete Newcastle side. Ollie Watkins is attracting interest, but he'll want to focus on football to further impress potential suitors. Newcastle have no Isak unless a WWE twist comes forth, and it's unclear who will start up front for them. Perhaps Anthony Gordon will step in. That's not the end of the world, but I think Newcastle will find goals a bit tricky to come by, and things just don't seem right at Newcastle at the moment. 1-0 Villa. There are three 3 p.m. games. Firstly, Brighton host Fulham. Adam Webster, Solly March, and Julio Enciso definitely miss out for the Seagulls. They have to ease back Charalampos Castulas, who missed a big chunk of pre-season, while Tom Watson is yet to be seen. Diego Gomez, Jack Hinchelwood, and Carlos Baleba should be fine. Fulham are without Anthony Robinson, and Ryan Sessegnon is also a doubt. Obviously, losing both their left backs is annoying, and if Sessegnon is not fit, Timothy Castagna might have to play there, or Calvin Bassey, with Jorge Huenza coming in at centre-back in that case. More interesting is the fact that teenager Josh King started every game in pre-season for Fulham, and in their final fixture, Emil Smith-Rowe was dropped. If the teenager gets ahead of their record signing, that is remarkable. Raul Jimenez's form will probably keep him ahead of Rodrigo Muniz too. Both teams have a few misses, but Brighton's star players are all there. Brighton look sharp and ready for the season, and I think they'll get a good start out of the blocks. Fulham are no mugs, but Brighton are a really positive side, and I can see them creating chances. Maxim de Kuiper's link-up with Kaoru Mitoma has earned attention during pre-season, and they just play without fear all over the pitch. Robinson is a huge miss for Fulham, as he is one of their main creative outlets, and his absence also risks unbalancing the whole defence. I'll give Brighton a well-earned and hard-fought 2-1 win. Next up, Sunderland play West Ham. The Black Cats have some long-term injuries in Dennis Sirkin, Leo Hjelde, Romain Mundell, Luke O'Neill and Adji Alese. New signings Arthur Masuaku, Mark Guyu and Omar Alderete still haven't been fully integrated into the squad. Regis Labrie has picked a pretty consistent side in pre-season, and I think he'll make limited changes. Jensen Selt will probably survive for now, but Alderete will take his spot soon, while Enzo Lafayette also just misses out, as will the recently returning Wilson Isidore. West Ham lack Crescencio Somerville and George Earthy, which is hardly the end of the world. There are still questions over whether new goalie Mads Hermansen can unseat Alphonse Areola in goal, while Freddie Pott's high amount of game time in pre-season makes many think he will start, although Thomas Soucek, Guido Rodriguez and Edson Alvarez provide stiff competition. Whatever happens, it's clear that Sunderland are really suffering with a pretty championship-looking squad, with neither the new players nor some of their stalwarts like Churkin and O'Neill. I think a full-strength set of Mackems may well have challenged, but not like this. It's a great opportunity for Nicholas Fulkrug and Jared Bowen to fill their boots, and I see a 2-0 away win. Finally, Spurs play Burnley. Tottenham have some major injuries, including James Maddison, Kota Takai, Destiny Adogi, Radu Dragashin, Dejan Kulusevski, and Brian Hill. Mana Solomon probably won't be back in time, but Yves Bissouma is back following the resolution of a disciplinary issue, which cost him a place in the Super Cup, although it's unclear whether he'll start. In terms of starters, the main losses will be Adogi, Kulusevski, and Maddison. Jed Spence is the naval deputy for Adogi, while Pat Matar Sarr is the temporary replacement for Maddison as they look for another signing at number 10. On the wing, Brennan Johnson is an able replacement for Kulusevski. Burnley also have a long injury list. Jordan Bayer, Bashir Humphreys, Zeki Amdouni and Manuel Benson are all out, while care has been urged with integrating new signings Armando Broja, Martin Dubravka and Leslie Ugochukwu. Zian Fleming and Connor Roberts are also likely misses after small knocks in pre-season. Max Weiss will probably get in ahead of Dubravka. Oliver Sonner is in competition with Roberts if the latter does return to fitness, or if a fallback is used with Marcus Edwards or Jakob Brun Larsen. Ugochukwu has had the most minutes out of the signing, so might beat Josh Laurent. Spurs looked up for it in the Super Cup, and though they couldn't hold on, they have showed that they have got what it takes to beat Burnley at home. Scott Parker's side will try to play negatively and limit the Lily Whites, but I think Tottenham will huff and puff and eventually blow the house down. It might not be the most impressive game, but I reckon it will be 2-0 to Spurs. In the half-5 game on Sky Sports, Wolves host Man City. Wolves are missing Leon Chiwone, Fabio Silva and Yerson Mosquera. Most of their new signings will start, and this is pretty much a full-strength Wolves team. For City, Mateo Kovacic and Claudio Echeverri are out, while Phil Foden, Joško Gvardiol and Rodri are out. You'd have reason to believe Pep Guardiola wouldn't want to risk them, especially the latter. If Rodri has so much as a sniffle, he'll be sent to a luxury spa. This means time for Ilkay Gundogan is more likely, and it also gives room for Jeremy Doku and Bernardo Silva. Furthermore, all the big new signings are likely to feature the Ryans, Ait Nouri and Cherki, and Tijani Reinders. I still think City have the firepower to get past Wolves. The old gold have lost some key players in the summer, and Erling Haaland will want to get up and running quickly. I think City will strut their stuff with a 3-0 win. Moving on to the Sunday 2 p.m. slot, also held by Sky Sports, Chelsea hosts Crystal Palace. The Blues are without Nicholas Jackson, who received a red card last season, and Mihailo Mudryk, who is suspended on doping charges. Levi Colwill and Amari Kellyman are also both a long-term miss, while Romeo Lavia and Benoit Badiashile are out too. Wesley Fofana is a question mark, but Trevor Chalobah is fit to start, only coming off early in the last pre-season game with tiredness. Fofana will probably battle with Chalobah for the last centre-back spot, partnering Tosin Adrabioyo. Crystal Palace are definitely without Chadi Riyad, Cheikh Doucouré, Caleb Cora, Eddie Nketiah, Mateus França and Daichi Kamada. Kamada is the only regular starter there, and that means a return for Will Hughes. In better news for the Eagles, Mark Gay's Community Shield injury was only cramp and he's fine to play. Chelsea are definitely worse on the injury front, but I do think their attacking options will do well here. Summer camp in America is over, and now their new attacking options, which are plentiful, will have time to play, but they do have to be mindful of the Eagles' own firepower that caught out Liverpool at the weekend. I'm not sure Chelsea are the finished article, but at home base, I think they'll find a way and win 2-1. There is another 2 p.m. game as Forest host Brentford. This was originally a non-televised 3 p.m. game on Saturday, but was moved because of the 100 cricket event at nearby Trent Bridge. The Trent Rockets are playing the Southern Brave, in case you are wondering. From this season, non-regular televised games that are moved out of the 3 p.m. slot also get whacked on Sky Sports. Forest have one injury, a long-term layoff for Nicolas Dominguez. That's it, and with Ibrahim Songare destined to get some playing time, it's a near full-strength Nottingham Forest side. For Brentford, there are some big players out. Vitali Janelt, Gustavo Nunge, Paris Megoma, Ethan Pinnock aren't ready, while Kevin Schade and Queven Kelleher are doubts. Johan Wissa is in exile for trying to force a transfer move. If Schade and Kelleher aren't fit, the backups are Keane Lewis Potter and Hakon Valdimarsson. There's also a question over whether Jordan Henderson is preferred to Matthias Jensen or Yehoy Amoliak after missing the last pre-season game. Rico Henry is back and will probably play ahead of Aaron Hickey. Brentford are still trying to figure things out without Wissa and, of course, the other levers such as Nurgaard, and their midfield options are scarce without Janelt. I think Nottingham Forest will find a way to win on home turf. I'm not sure it will be pretty, and I think they might only squeeze a 1-0 win. The biggest game of the weekend is at 4:30, also on Sky Sports, as Man United host Arsenal. Lisandro Martinez and Nosser Mazraoui are out long term, but Andre Onana and Joshua Zirkzee have returned to fitness. I think they might not risk Onana, who missed all of the preseason games, and give the start to Altay Bayindir. And Zirkzee isn't a starter anyway. Arsenal miss Gabriel Jesus, while Leandro Trossard isn't 100%, but should probably be fine. That means all their starters will be fit for the game. Both these teams are pretty full strength and both have new attackers. Man United versus Arsenal brings up memories of a time now long past in Premier League history when Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger battled over the title. However, both these teams are in very different stages of development. Arsenal should want no nonsense this season, and Man United's new attackers have the best defence in the league to contest with. I think Arsenal should have the quality to keep them out and snatch a 2-1 win from their hated rival. Perhaps historically speaking, one of the only games that can be called a derby, despite the lack of geographical closeness. Finally, the Monday 8 p.m. game, also on Sky, sees Leeds host Everton. Jacobiel has a one-game suspension from his final match in Serie A last season, while Jayden Bogle is a doubt and Sebastian Bornau is a much bigger doubt. Bogle probably should be fine, but not Bornau. Everton have no Jared Branthwaite and face doubts with Vitali Mihalenko, Harrison Armstrong and Nathan Patterson, all with question marks. No Branthwaite means Michael Keane will probably start, and Adnan Asno will probably beat Mikalenko to a place. Neither of these two teams impress me much going forward, being much stronger at the back. I can see neither wanting to get off on the wrong foot and lose the opener, so I've predicted a tepid 0-0 draw. So that's it. Liverpool, Spurs, City and Chelsea all win as expected, while Arsenal win the crunch tie against United. Forest get past Brentford, Villa sneak past Newcastle, while Brighton beat Fulham and Sunderland fall to West Ham. Leeds Everton is the only draw. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.